Hello and welcome. Yes, I am home to North Carolina. My 2020 Model 3 performance is showing 1%. I leave it plugged into the wall connector, so that's not the problem, but I think the 12-volt battery died. How do you get into a Tesla? Kind of simple. You have to have a power supply. Power supply is hooked here. Of course, you have to have your credentials to get into it, which is just fine. I'm going to hook up my power supply. It's a 12-volt supply. That, along with my credentials to get in the car, I can open the frunk. This is a high-power Kenwood power supply, but any 12-volt supply will work. And the power supply is generating about 12.5 volts. The current's about half, which should be about limited to 5 amps. We are now connected up here. Richard was able to hook the jumpers. And of course, red is positive. So let's see what we get. Hey, look at that. Did you hear that? The frunk opened. All right. Well, there you go. So all you need is an intermittent hit of the power supply and it opens the frunk. And that's according with my phone being on here, so it opened up. All right, now we need to check the 12 volts, so we'll get to that. Now we're in here, we're going to access where the battery is. I think the battery can be accessed here, and if not, we have to pull the tub out.
So it's accessed here.
Is it? Okay.
No problem.
Richard has his Performance Model 3. Let's see if I can get this side. Pull straight up, and there's our battery. All right, so we have, this comes up and out, and here is our battery. So let me grab the meter and we'll see what the battery's saying. Yeah, so I've got the meter now, and Richard's going to put it on the positive terminal and we'll put it on the negative, and let's see. Now you see that's a problem. This is a 12-volt battery and it's reading 2.3 volts. One of two things happen. The charger quit to charge it. However, I think the battery is just toast. So we're going to remove it, take it into the auto parts store and have a look and see if it's any good. All right, I used a 10 millimeter socket and removed the terminals. Now I've used a 10 millimeter open wrench that uses the hold down bolt. This clamps down on the battery to keep it from moving. I'll get that out of here. All right, after loosening up the hold down bolt, you unhook it from the front here and then unhook it from the back, and this contraption comes off. And now we can pick it up and move it. This particular battery has a drain line here. You see this? It hangs off the end, and I think this comes out like that. Keeps the nitrogen or the hydrogen gases from going anywhere. So now we can pick it up. All right, let's have a look. What do you think? You like that bulge on this side?
I think to match that battery, you'll not have to get it from Tesla.
I don't think so. Well, we're going to find out.
We can get any battery or replace it, but if
we're
to match it.
Richard thinks it might be a special battery. I'm hoping not. Here is the serial number, 12-volt battery, and this is an 85B24LS battery. Hope it's a common battery, because we're going to go over to the local auto parts store now.
1 hour later.
Richard and I went to Advanced Auto Parts. They're the only ones that stock something like this, and we had to drive over to a place called Forest City, 22 miles away. Fortunately, they had a battery in stock, so we are good to go. We've got to prep things. First part is we're going to use some Noah locks. It is a contact protector. Also provides an interface between aluminum and copper joints. This is a Scotch-Brite. I use it all the time. As you can see, it'll clean up the inside of the terminal. On both sides, we'll clean up the battery terminal so it's nice and bright. Put a little Noah locks on it, and then we're going to install it. So we'll get to that. Another thing about Noah locks, Richard wanted to make sure everybody knows, it has a zinc powder in it, which promotes conductivity. Regular grease does not. Grease will keep the conductor semi-clean, but this will promote joint conductivity using the zinc powder inside. So using the Scotch-Brite, we just get rid of the lead oxidation on the outside of the terminal. And when Richard gets done, you can see it's nice and shiny. All right, now we'll use the Scotch-Brite here. And Richard, if you want to show us, I'll hold it here. So the first step is you roll up the Scotch-Brite and kind of like a burrito, and then rotate it inside of the... With the battery back in, it's important to take the hydrogen exhaust tube, and it should go right here in this little hole right here, there on the side of the battery, and put terminals on. You kind of wiggle them as you push them down. So that's what happens. Richard's going to tighten up the terminals till they're snug.
Tell what you were saying, don't let that touch.
Yeah, and you don't want to touch the terminals. And also when you work on stuff like this, if you have any rings, take them off. Because if you do short that battery out, it'll burn your finger right in two. I had to go on the app and unlock the car to get the alarm from sounding, which is a normal reaction when you re-power the car with the battery being a good battery. Once these are secure, I'll physically secure it into the vehicle. All right, so the terminals are now attached. I usually push this red thing, keeping metal from contacting it. Now I'll reinstall the hold down device here. Let me get that on. All right, so we reattach the hook. Make sure the battery is solid. You hook it on the back first, push it down, hook it on the front, and then tighten this, which pulls the clamp upwards and make sure the battery doesn't move. All right, the battery is in. Now we replace the air intake. You can also take a rag and wipe out the dust if that works for you. And these little white buttons will go down and secure it. Okay.
Yeah, we should have wiped it out, but anyway.
Well, there we go. And then the next... What's that?
That's what my spray was for. It cleaned
Oh,
up.
yeah. Richard suggested we use a conditioner for the battery coil, but I'm going to be changing the air filter soon, so no problem. All right, why don't you stick the little escutcheon back on?
It's the same thing.
So it's the same thing. It's these retaining little buttons. You line it up. And then just a little, and there it is. Now the battery's changed. Let's look at it on the app and make sure we're talking to it. Once you open the frunk, having your phone or key card, to get it to this state, you tuck this back down into behind the fascia, all right? And then the negative terminal is here. All right, to return this into the car, it goes up at, with this pointing at the 1 to 2 p.m. side, like this. And those two other things fit right in there, just like that. That's as hard as it is. All right, well, this is a screenshot. The traction battery disconnected at 1%. It's charging now at 11 kW. And we should be able to get it back to its set 60%, which I usually leave it at. My suspect is it tried to charge that dead 12-volt battery so much it discharged the traction battery and then went to an idle state. So we'll let it charge for a while and get it back to normal.